Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Mike.
And I'm Laura.
And today, Laura, we're going to be visiting, well, not Japan, but sort of Japan.
Oh, I thought we were going to Japan.
Well,
that would have been so much better.
Yeah, it would be fun. Japan is always nice, but it costs a lot of money to get there. So why don't we enjoy some Japanese stuff a little bit closer to home? In fact, here in our home country, in Taiwan.
I didn't know that. Well, actually, we were largely influenced by the Japanese people.
That's right. They were in charge here from 1895 to 1945, as many people know, and did a lot of building, including our presidential palace.
Yeah.
And also a lot of other nice places. And didn't they kind of brought hot spring culture to Taiwan too, didn't they? So
yeah, that's
nice. We're still enjoying many of the fruits of the Japanese. It wasn't all bad, I guess, when they were in charge. So another thing that we're going to be looking at is something I have to say I've never heard of, Kishuan Forest of Literature.
Okay. I haven't heard of that either, but it's a great idea to take a look at more about this today.
That's right. So let's read our article, Kishuan Forest of Literature, Through History to Today.
Reading.
Kishuan Forest of Literature, Through History to Today. In 1917, while Taiwan was under Japanese rule, the Hiramatsu family opened a Japanese restaurant in Taipei. The restaurant, Kishuan, had a lovely view of the Xindian River. It became so popular that the family expanded the business by adding more buildings in the late 1920s. During World War II, Kishuan housed wounded soldiers. After the war ended in 1945, it became housing for new Taiwanese government workers. The famous writer Wang Wensing grew up there and discussed Kishuan in his novel Family Catastrophe. From the 1950s to the 1970s, the area around Kishuan became the go-to place for many writers and poets. In the late 1990s, most of the original Japanese-style Kishuan buildings burned down, leaving only one. It was later restored. Several organizations also worked together to protect the old trees around Kishuan. In 2011, the city government built a new building next to the original and called the site the Kishuan Forest of Literature. It's Taipei's first historic site to honor Taiwanese literature.
All right, so we mentioned this a little bit earlier, and I'm sure most of you know that, yes, the Japanese ruled Taiwan, or the island of Taiwan, from 1895 to 1945. And it's during that period of history, around 100 years ago almost exactly, that our story here begins. So let's see what it says. In 1917, while Taiwan was under Japanese rule, the Hiramatsu family opened a Japanese restaurant in Taipei.
Wow. Okay, I'm
Makes
going
sense.
to that restaurant if it's still there. Okay, let's take a look at today's article. 在1917年，当台湾呢还是什么呢？日本统治下，大家这里有没有注意到 under Japanese rule？ 其中的 rule 是当作名词来用哦，有统治的意思。当然 rule 这个字也可以当作动词来用，同样也有统治的意思哦。那我们看到的是 Hiramatsu， 就是平松家族。他们在台北开了一间餐厅哦。So what's this restaurant called?
Well, it says the restaurant Kishuan had a lovely view of the Xindian River. Wow, must have been spectacular, and maybe still is, because if you have a nice view of a river, that means it's a very scenic or lovely location, somewhere you'd want to definitely take pictures of. Maybe the river is up on a little bit of a hill or, above the river. So the restaurant's up there above the river, giving you a great view of the river while you have your food. It sounds great.
OK, 所以呢，这家餐厅呢，就是我们今天的主题，就是 济州安，哇，这课文提到它有非常美丽的新店溪的景色哦。Oh, so that's pretty close, Xindian River.
That's right. Up here in northern Taiwan, as it said in Taipei, are very close. And apparently, it might have been the lovely views or the beautiful restaurant or the delicious food or all of those things, because we read it became so popular that the family expanded the business by adding more buildings in the late 1920s. Wow, okay. So a very popular business becomes an even more popular business after they make the business grow or they expand the business. In this case, they added more buildings. Maybe they added a hot spring.
Yay!
Or a little hotel.
Ooh,
or
I would
both.
want that. Okay. 所以呢，我们提到的是 Kishuan 济州安，它变得如此的受欢迎呢，以至于平松家族在1920年末 ，OK， 他就改建了这个馆呢，然后加了更多的建筑物来扩大整个营业的规模。这里我们看到 it became so popular that 的句型 ，OK， 就是 so 什么什么 that。那这样的句型用来表示结果，如此的怎么样，以至于如何如何。那 so 在这里是副词，后面我们可以接形容词或者是副词，然后 that 引导表示结果的副词子句。我们可以来造个例句，比方如果最近天气很热，如此的热，哇，好想吃冰淇淋，我就可以这么说啦 ：It is so hot that I feel like having some ice cream。那常常我们也可以用 such that 这样的句型，同样也有类似的意思，但是注意有 such 我们后面要接的是名词哦，然后再接 that 的子句，所以刚刚同样的句子我可以这么的改写，用 such It is such a hot day that I feel like having some ice cream。好了，那回到课文，其实我们还看到 expand 这个字，它是当作动词，有使什么，像通常是尺寸啦、数量或者是重要性，来增大啦、扩大啦、增加的意思哦。
So life was good for the restaurant and its customers. But then, of course, history intruded. World War II started in 1939 and Japan got really involved in 1941. So during that period, during World War II, Kishuan housed wounded soldiers. Wow, so it kind of became almost like a hospital, or at least a place where these wounded or injured or hurt soldiers could go and recover before being, maybe sent back to fight. So if you're wounded, this adjective basically means you're hurt, you're injured. Something has happened to your body in a sort of accident type situation. We wouldn't use this if you're sick or if you have a disease or something like that. But if you fall down and cut yourself or break a leg or, something like that, get hurt in an accident in some way, you'd be hurt, wounded, or injured. For example, Denzel got slightly wounded after he fell off his bicycle. Maybe scraped his knees and stuff like that. Ouch, but not too bad.
OK， 所以呢，我们回到课文提到的是 World War II， 就是在2次大战，济州安就成为暂时安置受伤军人的地方啦。那我们首先先来看一下 wounded 这个形容词，就是受伤的意思，尤其是指那种皮开肉绽的。所以我们通常呢，在这个打战的时候，可能就会提到 a wounded soldier， 就是伤兵啦这样的意思。那如果我们用 the wounded，OK， 这样子则是表示伤者 people who are injured. For example, ambulances took the wounded to nearby hospitals. 指的就是救护车将伤者送往附近的医院。那刚刚我们是不是还看到 house？ 不过注意这里是当作动词来用，在本课当中它是有收容的意思哦。So this is used as a verb in our sentence.
Yeah, to give someone a home or a place to stay is to house that person. All right, so of course, history moved on and the war ended, and that's a good thing. And then it says after the war ended in 1945, it became housing for new Taiwanese government workers. Interesting. So it changed from a kind of holiday place into a place where wounded soldiers would be taken care of. And then it was sort of a government dormitory or a place where you house people who are working or studying or, doing something like that away from their home. So this place has had many different lives.
Right, okay.刚刚有提到的 house, OK, 之前那个句子是当动词来用，不过在这个句子当中，我们看到了 housing, 它则是不可数名词，这里是当作住宅或者是房屋的意思哦。所以我来这里补充一下刚刚课文提到的，还有这个我小小有查到的一些不错的 information， 就是从1945年战后呢，这个1950年代的济州安就转为什么呢？公务人员的眷属的居住空间啦，作为刚刚有提到，就是类似像 dormitory， 就是宿舍使用。And next we read in the article, the famous writer 王文兴 grew up there and discussed Kishuan in his novel Family Catastrophe.
Very interesting. So a novel here, it's another vocabulary word we should look at. Basically, it's a storybook, something that is made up from the imagination of the writer. So, of course, J.K. Rowling wrote novels about Harry Potter, right? He's not a real person. This isn't a history book. It's a novel. It's a story. Most of the popular books that people read for fun, or maybe in school too, will be novels. Some of them are very famous. Some of them are just, read for entertainment, for enjoyment. For example, 1984 is one of the most famous novels of all time. That's right. George Orwell wrote it about Winston Smith.
I remember that. Right, okay. 所以课文提到，哇，这个台湾小说家王文兴，他曾经就居住在这个济州安哦。然后呢，这个小说，他的小说叫什么呢？ Family Catastrophe 就是家变，其实就有提到了这个部分场景源自于济州安。那之后呢，这个是小补充，在网络上有看到呢，再从这个王文兴先生本人的口中得知，这是他8岁到27岁之间成长的住所，就是他居住的地方，所以他就是用了济州安古迹为故事背景。Discuss 在这里其实有详述 ，OK， 或者是论述的意思，而 novel 其实大家如果很喜欢看小说，就知道这个字就是小说的意思啦，像是 romantic novels 爱情小说。那我们来造个句子好了 ，His latest novel is selling really well。他的最新的小说非常畅销 ，It's a best-selling novel.
Wow, congratulations! And I guess having this famous writer Wang Wenxing write a novel there made a lot of other artists want to sort of go there and maybe get some great inspiration or be in a nice place where they can be creative, because it kind of turned into an artistic hotspot. It says from the 1950s to the 1970s, so over about 30 years, the area around Kishuan became the go-to place for many writers and poets. Yeah, different times in history, certain places in the world have been sort of really popular for artistic people, creative people, like Paris in the 1920s was filled with great writers, or New York in the 1950s was filled with writers and poets and things like that. So Kishuan sort of became, the artistic place for people to go and meet and create things back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Wish I could have gone. That would have been really cool.
Right. Okay, 所以从1950年到1970年代，这个济州安附近的地区就变成很多的作家啦，还有 poets 是谁呢？诗人，他必去的地方 the go-to place. OK, go to 到底要怎么用呢？我们当然要来看看我们的 Pocket Phrase Go!
Pocket Phrase Go!
神灯精灵，我被甲方欺负啦！快来帮帮我 ！Genie is my go-to guy for all my troubles。哎呀，当我有困难的时候呢，就要找精灵来帮我。哎，这么一说，蓝蓝的、胖胖的精灵怎么好像我的哆啦 A 梦啊？那我阿拉丁不就变成大熊？哎呀，不行不行，男儿当自强哦，不能一直去找精灵啦。要去找精灵呢，我们会用这个动词go to 去什么地方呢来找它。但是你知道吗？当我们把 go to 用一个连字号连在一起，它呢就可以变成一个形容词了。例如呢，刚刚我说精灵是我遇到困难的时候一定要去找的人哦，所以呢，它是我的 go to guy for all my troubles。或是呢，像我这么时尚哦，我开的店肯定呢是潮流人士必去之处咯。Aladdin Shopping Mall is the go-to place for fashionable things. 阿拉丁购物广场呢是买新潮东西必去之处，所以咯 go to 可以形容人，就表示为了解决某个问题或做某件事情必须要找的人。至于表示地方呢，就是指这个地方是为了找某件物品或是某个服务必去的地方咯。 go to 这个很好玩的形容词，你也学起来了吗
？All right, so let's get back to our article and see what happened later on in the history of Kishuan. It says, in the late 1990s, most of the original Japanese-style Kishuan buildings burned down. Leaving only one. Oh, what a tragedy. What a sad event. So back in the late 1990s, there was an accident. Something bad happened. There was a fire, and most of the original Japanese-style buildings burned down. So most of them were destroyed in this fire in the late 90s. Only one survived, leaving only one. That means only one of the buildings survived. So if there were 5, 4 of them, say, burned down, 1 was left. Now, they might have put up some newer buildings, and those might have been okay, or maybe they've put up new buildings since then, but these were the original Japanese-style buildings. So that's why, they're kind of special, because something that's original is something that's been there from the very beginning. It kind of started that thing, or was there at the beginning of the story, of the beginning of that history. So, an original member of a pop group would be one of in the first appearance of that group, this person was in there. Often when we have pop groups or sports teams or, companies or something like that, people change, they quit, they retire, they move on to other jobs or other places. But an original person or an original thing was there from the very, very beginning. So, there's a little bit more history with a person or a place or a thing like that. For example, Seattle, the city of Seattle in America, Seattle is home to the original Starbucks.
Oh, that's right.
Original Starbucks is there. There's many more, but that was where the first one was.
所以其实在90年末，其实我后来去上网查，是差不多1996年的一场大火，它将原本的日式风格的济州安的3层楼，就是它有个本馆的3层楼建筑完全烧毁，只剩下一栋哦。那这里的 original 是个形容词，就是起初的啦，原来的啦。For example, the word's original meaning was very different from its current meaning, like the word sick.Sick.
Yeah,
sick.
Oh, the original meaning means you're ill,
right?
You're unwell, but now people use it for cool or awesome. Okay, yeah, that's a good example. And that way of speaking would be a different style of speaking. You wouldn't speak that way in a hospital. If someone is sick in a hospital, it means they're not feeling well. But if you do something sick on the basketball court, it means it was awesome. So that's a different way or a style of speaking. And yeah, that's what the word style means here. When we're using it as a noun in this sense, Japanese-style buildings, we're talking about something that can be done in many different ways. There are many different types of building with different shapes and sizes coming from different parts of the world. Now, if I say it was a Japanese-style room, then you might picture very little furniture, people sitting on mats on the ground, those sliding doors made of paper.
Yes.
That kind of gives you the idea of a Japanese style. Now, if it was a fancy French style, that would be very different, right? A lot of gold furniture, those sort of legs of the chairs that look like the feet of that looks like the feet of a lion or something like that.
Yeah.
Lots of paintings around, very different from Japanese style. So often we use this word when talking about creative things, okay? Clothing styles, music styles, cooking styles, dancing styles. All of these things can be done in many, many different ways. There's lots of ways to dance, right? But breakdancing is one style, tap dancing is one style, ballet is one style. They're all different ways of dancing. For example, Baroque is a style of classical music.OK,
style 是什么呢？当然就是风格啦，它是一个名词，可以用在很多地方，像是穿着的或是衣服的风格 clothing styles。OK, 那当我们用像本课的 Japanese style 字尾 style 就是跟形容词和名词连用，是用来表示什么什么风格什么什么样式的，所以像是 Japanese style 就是日式风格的。 Now, in the article we read, it was later restored. 所以济州安主要的3个部分其实有本馆、别馆还有离屋，仅留下了离屋。那离屋后来也被修复了。OK, restore 就有着修复、恢复这样子的意思哦。
So not only did they restore and protect the buildings, they've also been working to protect the nature around this area. It says several organizations also work together to protect the old trees around Qishuan, to stop the trees from, getting sick or being cut down or something like this. So it looks like it did many years ago.Nice.
所以很多机构也一起合作来保护就是济州安附近的老树。Now, in the article, we continue to read, in 2011, the city government built a new building next to the original and called the site the Qishuan Forest of Literature. 就是在2011年，在台北市政府文化局的指导下，在这个古迹旁边建立了新馆。刚刚就是它的英文名字，也就是济州安文学森林这个名字 OK， 那进行文学的展演跟推广活动。那 next to 其实就是临近或是靠近啦这样的意思，而 site 就是建筑物的某个地点或是位置。那 literature 就是文学或是文学作品。
So this is great because it's somewhere where tourists can visit, and it also, as we read, it's Taipei's first historic site to honor Taiwanese literature. So it's kind of like the first museum they've ever made to honor Taiwanese literature, which is a great thing. And of course, they did it there. That's a good choice of a place to do it because this place is very historic. Something that's historic, this adjective just means it's a place that is important to history. It's old, something interesting or important happened there, or it's really just an unusual and special place that you can't find anywhere else. So, for that reason, we try to protect historic places so that people can enjoy them for many years. It says, for example, this historic home is also where Winston Churchill was born.
Wow.
It's a big old building, and Winston Churchill was born there.
Okay.
2 reasons it's historic.
Historic 这个形容词就是历史上著名的或是有历史意义的，像是 historic buildings 就是有历史意义的建筑。那如果是一个 a historic day or a moment 就是具有历史意义的日子啦，或者是时刻。And we also saw the word honor, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. Often when we put up a historic building or a statue or something, it's to honor someone or some great event. To honor is basically to sort of publicly, in public, show respect for someone or something. They've done something great. They did something important. They did something that helped many, many, many people. So we kind of want to just salute them and say, hey, thanks for your hard work. We remember what you did and we think it's great. We're showing very public respect to someone for something they did. For example, the fans jumped to their feet and clapped their hands to honor the team's star player.
Wow, okay. Honor 这个动词就是向什么什么表示，向某一个人啦，表示敬意。可能是他做一个很厉害的事情，比方像是 He was honored for his bravery. 他因为表现英勇而受到表彰。Okay, that comes to the end of our day 1 article. Let's now go to our For You chat.
For You chat.
Okay, here's our For You chat question. What other historic sites do you know of that honor something or someone, Mike?
Oh, wow. There's thousands of them all around the world. I guess here in Taiwan, one of the ones that people might know about or have visited is the Martyr Shrine. You know, up there by the Grand Palace Hotel or the Palace Hotel. It's kind of like, it's not quite a temple, but it's there to honor soldiers who have died fighting for Taiwan or the Republic of China back in the old days against the Japanese and stuff like that. And that's pretty common. Most countries will have some kind of building or statue or park to honor soldiers who have died in wars fighting so that, you know, people today can still be free and things like that. So that's another thing we often try to honor, people who have, you know, sacrificed their lives for others. All right, so there we go. That Qishuan sounds really nice, and I think I'm going to have to go visit.
Same. I want to go.
Yeah, all right. We'll see you up there. Bye-bye.
Kishu-an Forest of Literature, Through History to Today. In 1917, while Taiwan was under Japanese rule, the Hiramatsu family opened a Japanese restaurant in Taipei. The restaurant, Kishu-an, had a lovely view of the Xindian River. It became so popular that the family expanded the business by adding more buildings in the late 1920s. During World War II, Kishu-an housed wounded soldiers. After the war ended in 1945, it became housing for new Taiwanese government workers. The famous writer Wang Wensing grew up there and discussed Kishu-an in his novel Family Catastrophe. From the 1950s to the 1970s, the area around Kishu-an became the go-to place for many writers and poets. In the late 1990s, most of the original Japanese-style Kishu-an buildings burned down, leaving only one. It was later restored. Several organizations also worked together to protect the old trees around Kishu-an. In 2011, the city government built a new building next to the original and called the site the Kishu-an Forest of Literature. It's Taipei's first historic site to honor Taiwanese literature.
Vocabulary Review. Wounded. Ralph told us about being wounded in the explosion and how he recovered in hospital. Novel. I recently watched The Hunger Games, a movie based on a novel I read in high school. Original. This house was built by its original owner, a famous Japanese writer from the 1920s. Style. Brown shirts and very wide ties were a style of clothing that was popular in the 1970s. Historic. The signing of the Declaration of Independence was a historic moment for the USA. Honor. The famous actress was honored with a special award at the Academy Awards.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net